How are you doing, Governor?
Man, we're doing great.
All right, folks. Rahul, you want to go first question?
Governor, I want to ask you about the story that came out from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Axios about the rollout of the $350 checks you did for low-income Georgians, some of the issues that came up with that, and maybe even legal issues. Can you address those legal issues? And then one people raised the issue that this may have been rushed because of the election. Can you address the issues and then possibly what was going on with the rollout?
Well, it's a typical AJC story. Just a few days before the election, we're very proud of the rollout. We're very proud to be getting money in the people's hands that need it most with Joe Biden's 40-year high inflation, a disaster at the gas pump. If you look at literally the hundreds of millions of dollars that have been distributed to hard-working Georgians, helping them fight through this, we're very proud of that. I'm not concerned about any legal issues. Now, look, anytime the government's giving large amounts of money away, you're going to have fraud and abuse and theft. But that's a lot different than hacking or other things that have been alleged. So I'm very confident with what we're doing.
We're going to go right here to Hunter.
Yeah. The other day, Stacey Abrams and John Ossoff were here. They said they don't believe the polls that show that she's behind. Do you believe the polls?
I don't care. I mean, they may not believe the polls. I don't care about the polls. The polls are going to be this coming Tuesday, which is why we need all our people to get out and vote. We are not resting on our laurels. We are not thinking we got this. We have got to get every single vote that we can get. And listen, we have a message for every single voter that's out there. I mean, that's why we're going to non-traditional Republican areas. We're doing non-traditional means of media to reach individuals all across this state. And our ground game doing the same thing. And that's why I think we're going to have a good night. But it's not over. We got 4.5 days now to go. And we're going to work hard every one of them.
Riley?
Governor, I'm curious how you feel about the statewide slate in general. How optimistic are you for the other races, particularly the U.S. Senate race?
Well, listen, I think the clear momentum's on our side. The Democrats are divided. They've spent just an unprecedented amount of campaign, especially Abrams and Warnock, and it's not moved the needle for any of them. Georgians are hurting out there. And I think that's why we've been focused on fighting inflation, keeping people working in this state, getting their kids back in the classroom, giving economic opportunity in all parts of the state for a very long time now. We've been focused on crime for a very long time now. Their party won't even acknowledge that. They're talking about issues that don't even matter to the people right now. And Joe Biden was a great example of that last night with whatever that speech was about. I wish he'd have been talking about inflation, our domestic energy policy, the disaster at the border, why he raised taxes on hardworking Georgians and hardworking Americans, why they're spending more money when we already have 40-year high inflation, and what is he going to do about it? They're out of touch. They're out of touch with what people are feeling out there. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now, and people are happy in Georgia because we have kept them working. Our economy's off the charts. And we're doing things to help them fight through inflation, like refunding their tax money instead of raising it, like Democrats in Washington are doing. And we suspended the gas tax since March to help Georgia families and Georgia businesses, just like the one we're at, fight through that.
Sorry to cut you off. So you're optimistic, in short, about the Republicans?
Yeah, I'm optimistic, but we're also running like we're 5 points behind.
Jonathan?
Governor, Georgia's in a unique position that it has a budget surplus. You and Stacey Abrams differ on how that money should be spent. Why is your plan?
Well, for one, if Stacey Abrams had been governor the last 4 years, we wouldn't have that record excess revenue because she would have had our state locked down. She said it with her own words. But because we have that, when we get back in January, we're going to do another $1 billion tax refund. We're going to put the money back in the pockets of hardworking Georgians. Stacey Abrams wants to spend one-time money on big government programs. And what that means for Georgians, if it were to happen down the road, she's going to come back and do just like the Democrats did in Washington. She's going to raise your taxes. We're going to take another $1 billion of your money, and we're going to give it back to the homeowners in this state in the form of a one-time property tax relief grant to help people fight through Joe Biden's 40-year high inflation and really the policies that Stacey Abrams supports and embraced when he ran for president.
She said this is the worst state to live in.
Who do you work for?
Patricia, do you have anything?
Governor, if you end up pulling this race out, let's just say, what message does that send to the rest of the Republicans around the country, given your feud with Donald Trump, with the way you have moved forward without alienating Trump voters? What does that to say about the Republican Party?
Well, I'm gonna focus on that right after we win this race. But until then, we're gonna stay focused on getting the vote out.
Your message to Latino voters?
Well, Latino voters in this state have had a credible opportunity over the last 3.5, almost 4 years, because we have allowed them to have the opportunity to continue to work in their jobs, especially if they're small business people like I am for over 35 years. We have pushed to get their kids in the classroom. A lot of Latino voters, they can't go to work if their kids are not in the classroom. And 2 years ago, when I was fighting to do that, Stacey Abrams was criticizing my decisions. And also, look, we're going to continue that in the future of this state. We're the state that values our workforce, no matter what your background is. And you look at the opportunities that we have. We've got an incredible slate of minority candidates that are running. I appointed our insurance commissioner, John King. He's on the ticket with me. He has served this state with distinction. We're going to make history on Tuesday when we elect him for the first time ever, the first Latino constitutional officer in our state's history. He's a good man, and he'll continue to serve well. But we also have a good friend of mine, Ray Martinez, that's running to be a member of the General Assembly. I think Ray's going to win. He is Latino. We have Sue Hong, that's an Asian, that's running. I was in Cartersville yesterday with the person that I appointed to be the first Indian American district attorney in our state, Samir Patel. He got a bigger ovation than I did up there. Those people love him. So, we are the party representing everybody right now. The Democrats are the party of the elite. Look where we're campaigning. The Democrats are running around with Hollywood celebrities, where Stacey Abrams' money came from, and people that are inflation proof, like President Obama and Oprah Winfrey.
We can do one more, guys.
Are we going to see you with Herschel Walker before Election Day?
Might. We're certainly open to that. I know he's got his own schedule, but look, I'm working hard to get the whole ticket elected. If our paths cross, we'll be glad to have him, glad to rally, glad to get the vote out. The question Georgians are going to have to ask themselves, are they going to vote for somebody that voted with Joe Biden 96% of the time, or are they going to go and vote for somebody that they feel like is going to fight for them in Washington, D.C.? To me, that's a pretty clear choice.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.